Welcome to a crown like we always do. I roll with nothing but royalty. If I'm not hanging around with the queen, I'm hanging around with the king. And today, I don't have a king and I don't have a queen, but I have the mother of all queens and kings in the music industry in Zimbabwe. And you know that is Busi Ncube, better known as Busi Ncube. Welcome to the show, Mama.
Yebo, ngiyabonga mntanami.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's I don't know where to start because you've given us so much for so many years, and maybe if I can begin by saying you come from a family that was musical in every sense. You have siblings that were involved with music, but
Yes.
how did you fall in love with it?
Um, ngisemncane ngoba all around us kwakule music. Kolo, I was an entertainer vele. Ngisukele church sasile choir ngoba sakhulela Christ Church. We were 7 of us. Labantwana bakaba bomdala and then labanye abantwana babo aunt. But we were choir from the beginning and before also there was traditional music also choir before we joined church.
All right, nice. And pursuing music as a child and having music all around you, was it easy for your family to accept Uti, this is something that you want to pursue? Because most of the times artists say no, don't do this, because from their experiences they don't usually think going the art is the right way. As Umtwana saying, I go out there and do this.
Yeah, I was very, very lucky ngoba my sister, from my father, my brother, my sister, they were all involved. But my father is a bit skeptic about it because he was a musician, but they used to play behind the curtains, during the era. They were not allowed to sing. There were musicians that were playing, but they were playing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
The curtain in front of them.
Yeah.
So they were not being paid. So it was just like being a musician. So he was very skeptical, but at the end, he supported everything, and he was the first one to come into the door on my big show at the City Hall.
Awesome. Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. So at the age of 19, having done music in the family, in the church, and everywhere else that you've done, you joined Ilanga as the only female band member. They've changed a bit, but it's really much in how it was when the experience was. How did you manage to navigate through all these challenges?
Navigate through her. She was my mentor, she was my coach, she was my everything because she was the one that was elder in the music business. I went through since Ilanga, I was already ready because I was working with men. So it wasn't like there were some people that were resistant to saying. So me, I just kept my music. Success as a band. Manager, very, very the best manager that I ever had. May his soul.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. With you many hits, but maybe one of them stand out for me are songs like Potha and songs like Ushosholoza. lesson from?
I was not yet with Ilanga.
Correct.
I joined Ilanga when it was already a band.
Okay.
So Bota was a single that they recorded before there. So when I came in, we did something else that you know. So it was really amazing. And we were squeezing each other in the drums and we around the room, and there was no the magic that came out of there. We locked it and played until we came up. Time we came up with something, and because we were like a unit, always came out. Yeah.
Awesome. And one of the that Ilanga is True Love, which is a song that is seen, I suppose, as a female artist to have time.
It did change.
Yeah.
My first recording was with Job's Combination, with a song that you know today called Stembeni.
Yes.
Stembeni became a had recorded True Love.
Oh, all right.
So it was like I was unknown that time, and then I was like, yeah, I've got a recording, and it was a super flop, and then a real super flop, and it was not being played on radio because I was a non-entity, and people, I don't know how people they reacted to music that time, and we were playing that song, but people were reacting to it live. But on the radio, it just was a super flop, and it didn't go anywhere. And then I let it go, and then I recorded True Love. It became a very big myself, but I kept my didn't get to my head. The video, and Mr. also did, so it was a like a back step. I took a step forward, and then I had to go back and enrich or do much because I had so much high hopes recording my song, and then not being heard, and then all of a sudden I've got this song, and then I went back, and everything just followed, fell into place.
Awesome. Yeah, you talk about going back and going forward. The question that I can pose on you is, you have I don't know if it's a privilege or you had an opportunity of living during the Rhodesia era and living during independence. How was this change for you? Maybe if you can just give us briefly on that before I move on with the music.
It was a big change, but me, I only really professional musician from 1984, 84, to be real professional, and I was doing but it was like at the club, at an executive club and all, and people like still on that area, and people love their music, which they still play today, and I still love also.
Yeah.
But when the independence came, people had more expectations for their own music, because their own music had been banned.
Yeah.
On radio, and so we came up, and there we were live band, young and vibrant, and then we just said, let's do our own sound. We did our own sound, which we called hybrid. It was an authentic sound, a Zimbabwean authentic sound, mixed with all the sounds and languages, and made it together, and said, this we have to do on our own. We don't have to go back. And so we did it. We did the languages, we did
Yeah,
I was the first one to play for the president, to the era of Zimbabwe, to the first band to play at the presidential inauguration. First female. That you must remember. invited by Sally.
Awesome. In 1987, you participated in a human rights concert. Why was this something a show, a necessity?
Yeah, it was for the human rights, as it says on its right name. So there was shows that were going all over the world, and they went about choosing up the musicians that they thought they had the right. They Steve, all the big names in the music industry that you know in that area, and they are still alive. Some of them are still alive. So we were the ones that were to come with to be with on stage, which was a very very big privilege, and it was for a cause. And until today, there's a lot of good memories that came up with it.
Awesome. So growing up, what were the music experiences that inspired you and maybe contributed to your sound? And are there any of the people that inspired you that you were able to share the stage with?
Yeah. As a female, I was looking at the female. Growing up, we listened to a lot of music that was. My father used to bring a lot of music, but from outside the country because he was traveling. But he brought African music with him, from Mahotela Queens, from Dolira Tebes and them. But my real inspiration that I had, the women, Masuka and these women. So my listen to them music, the copyright music. So we had but now I don't think it exists anymore. It was Skyline Hotel. Yeah, it used to host big with bands like Soul Brothers, also from South Africa. But we were bigger than the Soul Brothers. And also at the human rights, the reception, we got reception than all the artists that had come from around the world. So we were big and people accepted our music. So and Auntie Daughter met him and I met her, and it was a very good day. Oh, Busi, you're doing very well. And she was advising me all the time, and she was my mentor. And I, her soul rest in peace.
Awesome. Yeah, it will seem like Ilanga was made of trailblazing human being, because all the members of Ilanga, when they left Ilanga, they were successful. We still have Keith, who's doing amazing things in did have all had their own bands full, and you have 12 albums, you have traveled the world, you have done much, and we cannot contain everything in one interview. Would you think it's to disband for Ilanga to go in their different directions?
I would say that for us to be together, because there's a struggle in the music, and then you want to try and go and play it out to the people. The people, they respond, they are struggling, they won't respond, they won't be that warmth, because they have to be warmed in the stage for the people to respond to the music.
Yeah.
So we had to, it had to be done, it really had to be stopped, because there was so much power, there was, and so it was anything hadn't happened, wished today would be very far, very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So managed to reconcile as members outside Ilanga and your different directions.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Yeah, oh yes, we did. We never fought.
Yeah.
We never like, oh no, we never. Afterwards, I don't went to South Africa.
Yeah.
That was another thing also that made things. Don went to South Africa. I followed Don to South Africa. I really did. I said, Busi, come, and he was already there. Cast it for me.
Yeah.
I kept my money on the side, and I said, no, I don't like this environment, and I don't like the things are done. Good luck. Me, I'm going back. I came back to Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Awesome. Your first solo project after you worked with all these great artists at how was this for you when you were trying to map your way alone and maybe with even complete new people that you're working with maybe for the first time or after a short time because you spent some time with these guys doing what you guys did?
Yes. I was lucky because Roger joined us after Andy had left.
Yeah.
And then I had Adam Chiso.
Yeah.
And then I had Vigilio. He was still around. Vigilio, the keyboardist.
Yeah.
But we practiced, and then resources were not available. I used to walk from, we practiced at, we had a place in Mbare at Adam Chiso's place. He got a cottage, he had a cottage that was empty, so we used to use it for the practice because he said, I cannot move up and down. So I said, I'll come. I was staying in Hatfield. So I used to walk from Hatfield to Mbare.
Wow.
Yeah. And I said, I can see it. I want to. It's not very far. You follow Masocha and Love. It's not far. So I just crossed the other side, and then I followed Masocha and Love, and then I'm in Bar. I used to do that. And then our first gig, we got $5 each.
All right.
After paying the expenses.
Yeah. Was that a lot of money at the time?
No, it was not. $5. I would buy maybe 2 buns and a Coke or something like that. $5 and managed to go home and then we kept on. I said, let's not give up. And then we recorded it. We called ourselves Ben Rain afterwards.
Yeah.
So I said, let's do it. Let's do it, Ben Rain. And then we did Ben Rain, and then we recorded 7-7. It was a very good success. And then it followed each other, and everything followed each other, but it was hard. It was not easy. It was not very easy. And I would sit and contemplate and say, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong here? Why am I being punished for this? Or what? Am I being punished or anything? No, I just thought, okay, let me just think about the future.
Yeah.
And let the past behind. And then I put my head up here, and everyone was like, the people are saying, see, you see her? She's walking all the way to Bari. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing my thing. I don't care what people say. And then we managed to pick up ourselves, and then we recorded, and then some singles, and then we recorded about 3 albums together with the Rain, and then we started touring all over, and then things were like boom. And until I'm here, I stayed here, and I invited the group to come now and again here. They came about 4 or 5 times to 5 times to Norway, where I'm based now. Until I'm
awesome.
the things have started to not were not correct to be in place for them to come over, and some of them had already left the country, so everything went well until the end. Until I was awesome.
Awesome. Thank you that you did not give up. But if I may ask, how was the industry back then? Were people signed? How was distribution and marketing working? Because now we have artists almost all over the world. They want to be independent. How was the experience for you? Because now most artists feel like being under someone, people will take advantage of them if they don't do things on their own. So we have, especially with most African artists I can name in South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, they are not under these labels. They want to be their own manager, have their own labels, put their own people and stuff like that. How was it then, and what would you prefer now?
It was okay, but not okay, because the problem was you couldn't see what was happening behind the scenes. You just got a check. You could know that your song is your music is being done, being played everywhere, and but the only thing that we had to go and say, oh, there's your check, sign here, and that's it. No accountability, no nothing. You couldn't get the sheet to say this is what it was sold, this is what. There was no nothing like that. So you were happy. Oh, okay, I've got the money. Like they would estimate sometimes. Yeah. And my manager was like, oh, you guys, I think blah blah, we should have got more. But what could you do? We were just there, and we had recorded, and we had signed the contract. But our contract was okay, because we are not stuck. Our manager was very clever. We're not stuck. We didn't give away our stuff. Also, we didn't give away the rights. Some of the first stuff was they had the rights to everything, so we couldn't recover anything. But at the end, it was the companies that were doing the music industry after we had left. It was not right anymore. It was I think the guys, what they are doing for themselves now, it's okay. It's really okay, because we can check what we are doing, but also it's very far away, because if you're online now, I'm glad, because there's Zimbabwean apps, there's Zimbabwean downloads that you can buy the music from, than to be on the USA, to be, you know what I mean? Don't know what is happening. You just see a few numbers. You see so many downloads, and you have 1,000 something dollars, and then you get $5 yourself, which is also not very right. But you can't question also, because we are questioning a robot. Dealing with the robot. You're dealing with the robot. So it's better people that are doing it for themselves, and I say it's the right way.
Awesome. One thing from people that I spoke to in anticipation of this interview, one of the things that we all say about most icons that you are in Zimbabwe is the fact that you've preserved your authenticity in terms of your sound and your music. How have you managed to stick to this? Because most artists, they are hot with something else today, they change, they're hot with something else tomorrow. They seem to be adapting to different trends, but you have kept what I will say, some kind of a successful formula with the sound you have, and it has worked all your life. So what was the secret behind that?
There's no much secret about that. I think it's a calling. It's just a calling that you have, this we have to do, and this we have to keep, and you keep it, and you have it inside you, and you have to keep it, and you respect it. And if it's your own, it will always stay your own. You can change, and I can be a hip hop artist tomorrow. But I won't be successful as a hip hop artist that I want to emulate. Yeah. But if I keep myself and be myself and believe in what I do and keep on with it, as I've done all these years, I think it's a success formula, if I can call it that.
Awesome. So you spoke about hybrid earlier. Have you kept to something that's close to hybrid, or has your sound changed to something else? And what do you define your music as?
I just called my music afterwards rainbow. The rainbow music, because it has all these colors, and you can color it, and you can see all the colors that are coming in. But the basic is about my being, where I come from. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
My culture.
You have a huge following all over the world. We got introduced to music by our parents, our aunts, some of us by our grandmothers. They spoke about you amongst other great other artists, and we got to then listen and find out like who's this, and then we listen to the music and say like, oh, the music is awesome. But are you actively doing anything to capture new audiences, to reach out to younger generations?
My aim is not to only capture and reach out to younger generations. My aim is to capture everyone. new that is coming to listen to my music who hasn't listened to it before.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm recording still, and I'm still doing live shows all over. And I'm very lucky because over this pandemic, I've still been managing to do live music.
Yeah.
It was being closed and opened and closed. It's been a difficult terrain for all of us, all the artists around the world. So it's been like a really, really bumpy ride for all of us as artists and curators. So I would say I'm a bit lucky because I've managed to play some few shows in between, and big shows, not small shows, but big festivals that I've been invited to and played. And then they have regulations here, they have regulations there, and then some of them were really opened. There was a time when everyone was like, "Wow, Corona is gone. Hello, no, then no." So we had to go back a step. So I'm sitting also in limbo right now. I cannot say I cannot plan anything. But we have plans in because we cannot meet anyone right now. Things have gone back to 2020. So we see where it's gonna take us. But we keep. I'm doing music, and I've got some gigs that I've already signed for next year. Some big
Awesome.
So we'll see where it's gonna be, and I'm planning to do maybe my recording because I do it both in Zimbabwe and I do it both in Norway. So when I come to Zimbabwe, I go to Zimbabwe every year. I come to Zimbabwe, so I do my recording there, come and mix it here and brass and everything, because here they've got I've got someone who's doing that for me.
Wow, awesome.
So I'm planning the next one to do it when I come to Zimbabwe, whenever I get the chance to come, if it's gonna open up, which I know it's gonna open. If it doesn't open, I'm going to open the borders like this.
Let me take you back to Harare and to a particular place, which was a darling also to me for a few years when I stayed in Harare, which was Book Cafe. We used to see many beautiful things. The artists that were not known, artists that were known. It was quite a melting pot of all this talent. How did that space during your time help the art scene?
Oh, it did very good job, a very good job for mentoring the artists, the up and coming and the already established artists were there. It was a small space, but it was very warm. It was welcoming for everyone. It could be packed, but it could be packed with only maybe 50 people, because it was very small unless you got to the other side to Manenberg. It was twins, Manenberg and Bukafe. So it was both sides. But it was very intimate, and the artists that came from all over, or anyone, when I came from the airport, when I had traveled, my first place was to go to Bukafe before I left my bags home. Because it was so inspiring, and it was bubbling. It was all with all this, this sense of belonging. And the music was different and diverse, and I don't think there's gonna be another place like Book Cafe again in Harare.
It was really a nice place. It was unfortunate that it had to close down. So now there seems to be a disconnect between the Zimbabwean iconic sounds. I can name Ilanga, Busi Ncube, Andy Brown, Comrade Cheng, Stuku, Mafumo, Solomon Skuza, Jakata, all those guys, Bundu Boys, System Tazrida. They did so much. They taught the world. But there seems to be a disconnect and no continuity for these sounds with the upcoming people or the music that is being churned at the moment. What could we possibly do to keep those things alive? Because that was something that was unique. That was something that was more of a selling point for Zimbabwe.
Yep. Youngsters have to see, they emulate what is happening. The young up and coming ones, they emulate what is coming, what they are gonna do after, what is happening right now.
Yeah.
So if there is no authentic and authenticity at the on the level on the ground, and people playing and doing the music, and them seeing that people appreciate it and people love their own music, they will just follow what the trend, what is going on, what people are want to hear now.
Yeah.
What people want to hear now, and the people are churning it out from everyone just follows that trend. But at the end of the day, that doesn't last.
Yeah.
You want to understand? It won't last. People will go back to their music.
Yeah.
People will want their music because you have music, arts is what identifies a nation, culture. But if you don't have a culture and you don't have any identity,
Yeah.
or authenticity of the what do you call Zimbabwean music?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
All right.
going to come the genes and they'll come and go, but the real thing will stay. And people have to go back and do what is, you can change it a little bit, but it has to be, it has to be, you have to hear that, okay, the minute you hear it, you have to hear that it is Zimbabwean. I cannot hear Zimbabwean and then I'm like, okay, maybe it's Uganda, maybe it's Angola, maybe it's, I have to guess before I hear that it's maybe the language. It
Yeah.
doesn't have, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So having done so much in and outside of Zimbabwe and Africa, and so much in the world, is there one performance that stands out for you, that you always remember, that stand out and that was special for you?
Yeah, the biggest show I think is the one that we did at the big city hall in Bulawayo when I introduced my famous song, and my father was there, and he was like, oh, he was
Do you remember
yeah,
when this was? When was this?
1998.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was at
Wow.
the big city hall, and it was packed up to the roofs at the roof.
Yeah.
And my father was VVIP, and he was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So moving away from music, you've been part of different organizations and
Mhm.
different, also part of other causes that people push around women, children, and us themselves. What causes do you pursue around these three groups of these through three themes?
I've been doing music with up and coming musicians, the young ones, but I was concentrating mostly on girls. I've been leading organizations that have been dealing with. I was dealing with mentoring the young girls and the ones that want to come up and be musicians and leading the way. And then the other one, I was dealing with the children, the young children that disadvantaged
Yeah.
children, and I managed to make them a home and one-stop home where they still it still exists in Harare. And there were, I also have got a passion for my city, Bulawayo.
Yeah.
So I saw it being dilapidated, and there was a call, and then I had to rebuild. I rebuilt one beautiful building that I really admired. It was the National Arts Gallery of Bulawayo. I
Oh,
rebuilt it I fundraised and rebuilt it, and they put a stage outside. There was no stage there for artists,
yeah.
so they put a stage. So I'm very grateful that all the calls, the people followed up, and other, the president was there also.
Yeah.
The new president we have, he came to,
Yeah.
the place was spruced up. Otherwise, it was falling. The roof was falling in.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but it was beautiful outside. But when you went in, you couldn't. It was not possible. So I fundraised and managed to raise it up, and now it's a beautiful building again.
Ah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, you've won so many awards. You've been given so many accolades. But you also won the World Music Award from BBC. Do you remember when you got this news and how you reacted to this?
And what I have to say is that award was not for me alone.
Yeah.
That award, we were a group of women. and it was a group only women that were, but we came from different parts of the world. So it was a beautiful, it was a surprise for us because we didn't expect it. We were just like playing along and playing our music and recording it also as women and touring. And we just heard that we were chosen as a BBC, for the BBC award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Having done so much, I would like to maybe focus on some of your recent works and how they have been received. Maybe we start off with the album Sala Ulandela from 2017. What was the theme in the album, and how was the reception of that particular album?
Salulandela was a very good album. The theme wasn't much like a theme. It's just my music, my Zimbabwean authentic music.
Yeah.
And I recorded it also. I recorded it here in Norway, and some of the artists I got the guitars and everything. I played, Andy played the guitar.
All right.
Andy Brown when he was still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful get together. Like I said, we never fought, so we still we were working together. We had done already a lot of projects together after Ilana. We toured Mozambique. We were mentors in Mozambique. We were told to go to Mozambique and do a lot of things, and so we continued. And then we went to the studio and he played a lot of guitars there. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
And then you do not wait and do not waste any time. You came with Usigo in 2018.
Yes, yeah.
How did this also happen? And Usigo, was this also just songs, or there was something particular towards Usigo on this particular album?
Usigo it was sponsored by the National Arts Council of Norway. I got some funds, and it's called there's a name for it, like a work that is being sponsored by the National Arts Council.
Right.
Yeah. So it was very surprised and good for me that I got that, and it was a privilege because I managed to work on it, and everything came from the National Arts Council of Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Sorry. Sorry, you
no,
can continue.
it was launched at the Vosa Jazz.
Yeah.
It's the biggest jazz jazz festival in Norway.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Away from music, you are a teacher by profession. I believe I wasn't the only one who was surprised to learn that you did not only do music, but you also was an academic. And as if that wasn't enough, you decided to also go back to school in your 40s. Why was this important for you?
I think I would upgrade my knowledge and do it professionally, as I had been working all my life, and I wanted to upgrade and get myself a paper to say, okay, this on a higher level. And I don't regret it, and I encourage other people to say it's never too late to go back, to sit on the bench and listen to someone and absorb the knowledge.
Awesome. Yeah. Now coming to 2021, it's been an eventful year. There's so much that happened, and maybe we cannot go through everything that has happened for you because you've done so much, you've performed and done so many things in 2021. Maybe if you can say this one thing stands out for you in the past year.
It was leading the National Arts Council Awards artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were performing virtual.
Awesome. Which artist did you work with?
I worked with this guy called Eric from here. He's a guitarist, and there's a Ama Tami Moyo, and there was the other young artist, the artist that came from Bulawayo. that were there, that worked from there, and I worked from here, and it was a beautiful setup. Or seeing these young people and me just being here and watching, and after done my job,
Yeah.
so it was amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. What are you working on now before I let you go? What are you working on at the moment?
Just at the moment, I'm just doing my working and teaching, and I'm going we are going to do an album. I'm lucky to be connected with a friend called Christine. We've been doing a lot of shows. We just did our last show in November, like solo, like a duo.
Yeah.
So she's a saxophonist, and I am a vocal. I do my vocals, mbira, percussion, and guitar. And she has studied to be an engineer, and she passed, and she's got everything. So maybe I'm going to be the first one that she's going to record.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Before I let you go, anything that you would like to say, maybe to encourage our up and coming artists?
Yes, I say keep on doing what you are doing, but you need passion and dedication. And originality also is very good, but we need to be international. If you have to be international, they accept you from where you are and accept you as who you are, and you have to keep on. And I say to my fans, thank you very much for following me and my family, for the support. And I have a page called Busi Ncube Music on FB. People can follow me on there. They see the events and what I've done and everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
awesome. Yeah, let me ask one thing before you go. You are managed by your daughter. How
Yes.
is this relationship working? Because most of the times people shy away from working with their family. How is this working? Because I've been in touch with your daughter and she's been amazing throughout.
Yeah, she's got a management degree. She just passed, graduated last year. And then when we start now working, she says, Mama, now I'm putting on my management work hat. So I have to start to say, okay.
Yeah,
And then she goes,
awesome.
yeah, I enjoy really working with her. It's a privilege,
Yeah.
that she's there and my own, and I don't have to go far.
Thank you so much. This is King Boaz, and I was talking to the Queen of Queens and Kings. As far as music is concerned, there is so much wisdom and so much knowledge and inspiration that we had today. Until next time, signing out. Thank you.
Ja, mushmon min. Next song heta, dimirire. Wait for me.